When we create our project in SQL Tran, the table names, view name, procedure names, and so on will stay unchanged. Data types will be mapped to the closest possible target data types. However, you may opt to customize that behavior using our mapping rules. So let's start with a simple database. AdventureWorks, we will move it to Fabric Warehouse. Let's call this Adventure in Fabric here. And if we examine the objects here, for example, the tables, DBO error log becomes DBO error log. Human resources employee is split into two objects, but table name is gonna stay human resources employee, and so on. Same goes for the objects in person schema, and it goes like this across the database. However, we can change many things here. So if we go into project settings and go to the mapping field, we can, for example, change schemas. So I can say human resources should become HR, person schema should become people schema. People schema. Now, if I go back to workspace and examine the objects here, human resources department becomes HR department. Human resources employee becomes HR employee. Person becomes people person. It's as easy as that. And if I go into our analysis tab and navigate to an objects using one of the objects in the schemas that I have affected by mapping, for example, human resources employee. This is now tied to HRV employee computed as per the Microsoft recommendations. When we have a table that has computed columns, so split it into a table and the view, and we'll reference the view. Likewise, person table becomes people person table. So you can move the objects across the schemas extremely easy. Now, the same system applies for many other things. For example, we can change columns in tables database-wide. So let's say I have business entity ID and I have it all over the place, right? And I don't like it, so I want to change it to something else. I can say, all right, let's rename column names database-wide. So business entity ID becomes biz ID in one table, in another table, in third table, and of course, we'll update the code in the whole project. We can do an additional thing. We can even change the way we map data types. So we have hierarchy ID, it's by default mapped to varchar 255. But let's say I want to give it a smaller precision here, so I can say hierarchy ID should become varchar of, let's say, 16. If I come back to the same table in question, organization node hierarchy ID becomes organization node varchar 16. And that happens across the whole project in all database objects.